Late October, Arkham. The circus is in town. Everybody's abuzz that the circus, which moves through all of New England, has finally arrived in Arkham. They've got an exhibit right by the water on the outskirts of Arkham, and it's hugely popular. The students from Miskatonic University are all flocking to it. The people of Arkham have seen the procession as the circus came to town. They wove their way through the old streets of Arkham, celebrating their arrival. Clowns, an elephant, tiger, strange, what they call at the time a freak show, circus freaks arriving, and this mysterious event which they're announcing, that the appearance of a new kind of human being, some fish man. Your interest has been piqued, all of you, and for various reasons. It's been on your radar that is definitely something you should look at or concern yourself with. On this particular evening, it's Friday night, and Jeb Spiegelman and Louise are getting out of Jeb's car. Louise has been strange all week, Jeb. She has been saying to you that she needed to tell you something about herself. She needed to come clean. And then you asked her about it, and she clammed up. She wouldn't say a thing. And then she said, listen, I need you to come with me on Friday night. I need you to see something. This job is really important to me. You got to know that. And I just want you to know something about me.
Are you a Catholic?
Definitely not.
Oh, thank God. All right, well then we're fine.
So with that mystery, she asked you to take her to the circus on Friday, and she said she'll tell you there what you need to know about her.
Okay.
And so there you are at the circus. This place is a blaze of color. The gas lights around the entrance are almost too bright, too stark against the night. The sounds of the crowd are too loud. You can hear carousels, you can see the Ferris wheel. You can hear the roar of some great beast and the laughter of children. Louise seems like she wants to take your arm, but doesn't, out of respect. You are her boss, after all. And she says, I've got his tickets already. As you move, the crowd is moving fairly quickly. If you're a little bit close to everybody around you, there's a family in front of you, two little kids holding their parents' hands, and everybody's dressed in their finery because at the time you would dress up for such an event. It becomes a very social thing in Arkham to see who makes it out to these things. So the two of you make your way through the crowd and towards security. There's a huge guy with a little bow tie on a huge man, and he says, "Tickets, tickets, tickets!" And Louise gives him 2 tickets, and she looks at you and she says, "This is so embarrassing."
I mean, you brought me here. I don't know what you were expecting it to be. Are you like a clown or something?
Make a spot hidden or a psychology roll.
Fail.
All right. A cloud comes across her face, and she says, "You'll see." And she moves
Okay.
in. You see a familiar figure standing in police uniform in the middle of the crowd, down the laneway, where on either side there are various games of chance, and you can see Astrid Elliott standing there in her police uniform, making sure that everything is hunky dory, and making sure that this proceeds without incident. You meet each other's gaze. Astrid, you've been here for the last 3 days, and you've seen some strange things at this carnival, which we'll go into. But you see Jeb and Louise make their way through. Jeb, if I may, because Louise has been so strange and so almost distraught, I would ask you if it would be possible for you to have involved your compatriots in this question, because she sounds like she's in trouble. Does that make sense for something that Jeb would do?
Sure. Yeah. And also, we all get to go to the circus and ride on the carousel or whatever.
Okay. So, well, Astrid, you let her know that you would be there on Friday night. Curtis, Luther, and Agent Hawkridge are definitely on their way, and said that they would join you later on that evening to see. You
Can I pull Louise aside?
Yes, you may. Yeah.
So, like, what's with all the pomp and circumstance here?
I wanted you to see for yourself, because it's just family. It's family.
No, I get it. My mom's a nightmare. You're the best assistant I've ever had. People throw bricks through our windows, and you don't blush. That's a rare commodity. I don't really care if your family are Connies. That's fine. It's a living.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why? My family were like butchers in Russia. You don't want it. It's fine.
Suddenly, she changes color and breathes out. It's just, this is the best job I've ever had, and I want you to know that, it's not. This isn't me. This isn't me. And she looks up, and then she goes slightly pale. And you can take a look around.
Yeah, can I do a spot hidden?
You don't really need a spot hidden. There's a clown. There's a clown running through the crowd towards you, and right behind your back as you turn, and you see a clown. This particular clown, it's a woman, which surprises you. She's got typical sort of floofy clown costume with a little heart on her cheek and a big heart here on the other eye. And she approaches and she says, "Louise!" And Louise goes, "Sarah?"
Oh, you two know each other, eh?
And then she's about to hug Louise, and Louise is like, Mr. Spiegelman, this is my sister, Sarah." And Sarah smiles and pulls out a ball and juggles it, just one-handed.
You never told me your sister was so talented.
And Sarah says, "Well, Louise was the brains of the family," as she's playing with this ball.
I can tell. Can I ask you something, Sarah?
Anything.
Did Louise
pulls out another ball and starts to juggle?
Did Louise ever juggle or anything? Is this like a family business? What was Louise's trick? I just have to know.
And Louise at this point wants to die. You can see. Louise, oh, she actually was the best tightrope walker. She can walk a tightrope, and Louise is like, that was a long time ago. I can't do it now. I put on a little weight. I'm sure it wouldn't work. And Sarah's like, it's like riding a bicycle. And as she says that, a bicycle goes by with 3 clowns on it. Burp, 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 as it passes you. 3 clowns on one bike.
Man, your sister is so charming, Louise. Also, why did you put tightrope walker on your resume? I mean, that is A material.
I hoped it wouldn't be useful.
That's fair. So who else is here? Who can we meet? Your like grandpa or something? Is he like a strong man or like a lion?
Sarah is my only living family member at the circus. My folks both were carnies, and they have passed. This carnival used to belong to my family.
Really?
Yes.
Who runs it now?
A man named Thill, Edward Thill. He was my father's right-hand man.
Well, I mean, should we go take in some of the sights and sounds?
And Sarah says, I want you to meet everybody. I want you to meet everybody. And she says to Louise, and takes Louise's hand, and Louise beckons at you to, like, please save her. And she begins. This
is going to be the best night ever. All right.
She begins to move you over to where you can see there's a photographer set up, and he's got his box out, and he looks like he's really preparing for a serious shoot. And you notice in this area of the circus, there are a lot of circus folk, a lot of professionals, and they seem to be gathering for a group portrait. Astrid, you were close enough to overhear this business. What would you like to do?
Dying with laughter inside. Trying to stay professional, but I can't help but like snicker to myself. I love Louise, and I think she's a lovely woman, but it is very funny to see like Jeb and Louise, who I associate with like an office and being professionals, out in the wild. And I'm also very curious whether or not they're on a date.
Well, I'll let Lou's feelings be his own. You suspect you can make a psychology check on Louise.
Sure. I will do that. No, I won't.
What did you get?
So hard to read, you know?
Fail.
A fail. All right. So unless you want to put some luck into that,
I'm okay. Not that curious.
It is something that you're going to be following. You're curious about. So you move to the main area, and we're going to switch over to Agent Hawkridge, Curtis, Luther. The 3 of you are walking down the games area of the circus. There's every kind of game of chance that you might want. There's a game where you shoot at spots on the wall, and if you get it, you get a toy. There's another one where you throw a ball. There's another one where you chuck a horseshoe. The 3 of you are enjoying a little bit of peace on this night. Curtis and Agent Hawkridge and Curtis DuBois, you know each other, correct? Did you meet last session? I forget.
Yeah.
So strike that from the record.
No, not well, but like,
yeah.
I think very briefly.
A chance to get to know each other a little bit as you head down the midway and you're looking from stall to stall. At the moment, other than the lurid atmosphere of this place, there doesn't seem to be too much out of the ordinary. Okay, so you can see from the map where the security shack is. That's the entrance. And then the games are down that line that goes immediately north of it. There's a House of Mirrors. There's the Tunnels of Terror. The Grand Menagerie, where the beasts are kept. The roller coaster, which is impressive for 1920. Pony rides, restrooms, the House of Freaks. And across from the House of Freaks is the North Star Pavilion. And that's where most of the great events of the circus are happening, including the reveal of Fishman tonight. And as I said, you're taken by the hand, Jeb, by Sarah, and with Louise following awkwardly behind, and you're making your way to the North Star Pavilion. However, you immediately vanish from view, but Hawkridge, Babson, and DuBois, as they're walking down the midway there, they can see you leave. And you see Astrid as well.
I wasn't aware that we were supposed to bring dates.
Would you like to describe yourself, Agent Hawkridge?
So I'm 5'1" on a good day. I'm currently wearing what I always wear when I'm undercover or when I'm being an agent, which is just a tailored suit for a lady. And like I've mentioned before in the past, the only reason it fits me is because my sister Dorothy hems it for me, which is very kind of her. I'm a blonde woman. I got my fedora on because I feel like it makes people take me more seriously. I run by spite. It's the only thing that keeps me going. You can't kill me. That's what you need to know about me. I might not pack a lot of punch, but you need a lot to take me down.
Excellent. Luther Babson, would you like to describe yourself, please?
Yeah, Luther is 6'4". He's kind of got a fishy appearance, like kind of bigger eyes, bigger lips, due to his Innsmouth heritage. His like big hands are sort of like tense now. He's very on edge, knowing that there's like a fish man, thinking like, could this be my grandfather who is a confirmed fish man? How similar will I look to this fish man? Like, am I seeing myself in the future? So I think he's also, when he sees Jeb and Sarah, he just kind of like points instinctively, just being like, oh, they're, and then Hawkridge, makes her quip. Yeah.
Excellent. And DuBois?
Curtis is a average height gentleman, and seeing as today is a special occasion out at the carnival, he's wearing a nice white suit and his hat, which is more of a Panama style hat with a blue band around the top. There are blue stripes along the bottom of his suit and his pink tie today as he swirls his lovely cane and enjoys the weather and says, my, this is quite a wonderful event we've got going on here. What shall we be doing today?
And what would would any of the three of you like to do anything, take any actions?
Well, perhaps we should reconnect with our friends. I do believe that's Astrid over there, I see. Could I be mistaken?
Astrid, would you like to describe yourself?
Sure. I'm about 5'4", female, first female constable in Arkham, wearing my men's police uniform that's too big on me, and I'm just happy to be out of the office, quite frankly. I think Astrid has her eye on the shooting game. She was on break, she bet one of the carnies probably about $5 that she could pop the balloon at the top and win a high score. but she's on duty right now, so she can't play, unfortunately.
Yes, indeed, and perhaps a little bit.
And she sees DuBois, and I think she like tries to pretend that she doesn't recognize him, but then she sees Hawkridge and Luther and is like, "Oh, hey, yeah, hello."
You have managed to reunite 3 children with their distressed parents as they've escaped, or so you've had a really great night, having returned children to their parents on 3 separate occasions. And you did break up a fight between 2 apparently drunk patrons. They both smelled of very, very cheap moonshine. And that is the extent of your evening thus far. So you see each other, and the 4 of you meet.
Well, let's get this over with.
All right, so please.
I was going to ask you, David, so do I have information that I can share with the group?
All right, so this fishman is of interest to you, okay? You've been paying attention over the last couple of days, and it's been all hush-hush. There's a tent on the back of the pavilion, which is off limits. They've got security there. And they're going to reveal the latest member of their freak show. That's what they call it. And it is the Fishman. It's been very, very quiet. Nobody's saying anything. But Edward Thill, you've caught a few glimpses of him. He seems to be very excited and believes that this is going to be a big moneymaker. Can you make let's make you make a spot hidden roll.
Sure.
And I'm looking for a hard success.
Hard success.
Excellent. So one thing that you have noticed, and you didn't know about Sarah's lineage until now, it becomes clear. But you notice that there was one particular carnival person that was interested in her and seems to enjoy staring at her quite frequently. And that's there's another clown, and he's called Hop Frog, and he is one of the older clowns in the circus, and seems to be under the thumb of Phil. He's ordered around a lot by Phil. He does a lot of menial jobs, but he seems to be, you would suggest, obsessed by Sarah, obsessed with her. She is attractive in her late 20s, and he might be early 50s, late 40s, in really good shape, and he does acrobatics, and he's actually burly. You can see there's lots of muscle underneath those puffy sleeves, but you would characterize it as an unhealthy interest.
Okay.
That's something that you have noted. Other things, the fire eater is a bit strange. He seems obsessed with his trade, and generally speaking, this whole atmosphere has been one of intensity. Everybody here seems to be obsessed with what they're doing, if that makes any sense. It's not like these people work Joe jobs and at the end of the day they turn off. They are not doing that. They eat, drink, sleep, breathe the circus. So those are your observations thus far, having been here for 3 evenings. You were here the first night on duty as a normal part of your duties as an officer, and then the last 2 nights it was a little heightened as Jeb informed you that he would be attending on the Friday night for a specific reason. So the 4 of you meet, and you have this information which you can share if you wish.
Yes, I would like to tell everybody about them.
All right. So you're all privy to the information that I just outlaid. Any thoughts?
That doesn't
I
seem.
don't know who Louise is.
Oh, Jeb's secretary. She's a nice woman. Doesn't
I'm sorry.
seem.
So I'm here on my night off to follow Stephen's secretary to the carnival. Okay.
I think Astrid's like gonna blush because she feels like she's given the wrong tip. It's not really about Louise. I think our focus should be on this new freak that they're introducing. I mean, every single fish person that we've ever met has somehow been connected to the strange goings on, and or who knows? He could be a victim. Maybe he's being taken advantage of.
You could have run away to the circus. Interesting. All right, the plan.
Make a spot hidden check, Babson.
Nice. Hard success.
Hard success. All right. While Hawkridge and Elliot are speaking, you notice there's a figure moving through the crowds. A very dapper man, quite tall, top hat, and an elegant suit. And he's framed by two other figures in long coats. They're a little bit bigger than an average person, and you've noticed them for that reason. They're burly. They all have large eyes, and one of them seems like Shadow follows him around. He's got a broad-brimmed hat, and you see you can't quite see his expression.
Mm-hmm.
But the tall man in the top hat, he's a very striking man. He's good looking. He's got very his expression is I don't know, sensual, I would describe it.
Mhm.
And he elegantly moves through the crowd with a cane. And they definitely, all three of them look like people of Innsmouth.
Yeah, I draw everyone's attention to it right away.
Astrid, your heart skips. You know this man. This is Ralston Marsh.
Okay, cool. I'm going to kind of give like a knowing look at Hawkridge and to Luther, and maybe I'm going to try to follow him.
He's not really making too much of there's not too much of a problem to follow him. He's moving very straightforwardly past security and towards the main pavilion. You can easily move along. Following him secretly would be a problem because of your police uniform.
I'm still on duty, right?
You're still on duty, and you've got one of those really annoying hats that take away all of your power with the little checkered circle.
Yes.
I'm not sure if everyone remembers. Do you all remember the story of Ralston Marsh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I met him.
Yeah. This is the first time he's made an actual appearance. But he was rumored to be involved with some sexual assaults in Arkham as well as other places. And his name has come up fairly often when we have been investigating Innsmouth. He's a lawyer in Innsmouth, that you also know, and his name was on the papers in the Hopeful that had established the trust fund for your friend Andrew Fisher. And so Ralston Marsh floats through the crowd taking in everything and has a bemused expression on his face, like watching watching children play. But it's almost predatory.
I think Astrid's going to turn to Hawkridge and say that's the reason we're here. And I'm going to remind her who he is. If we could catch him doing something illegal, there's a possibility to open this up into a much larger investigation. There are a few cold cases he's involved in.
Do you think he's maybe connected to what we're here for?
Absolutely, I do. Any kind of strangeness, and he just shows up, absolutely. I think he's connected.
All right, maybe I get better judgment. I'll trust you on that one. So what do you think we should do?
Hawkridge, you have a file on the marshes, which you have started. And now that you know the name of Ralsa Marsh, that this is the face along with the name, you actually have been working on this file for a while. I believe we mentioned in the last session that you were tasked with investigating Innsmouth and finding out what was going on. Well, the Marsh family goes to the heart of the Innsmouth problem, and Ralsa is one of the youngest members of that family, the brother to Esther Marsh, and you all remember Esther Marsh. She was the one torturing Andrew Fisher at the end of the session of the Hopeful. He's her brother, and that generation of Marshes, the young generation, they're particularly worrisome because they seem to have none of the conservatism of their forebears. They seem to be more interested in getting out in the world and doing things. And so Ralsa is part of that. Yes, he does interest you. And these two shambling companions dressed in full coats, pulled up around their faces, hats laid low, definitely are a cause for worry as well.
Can I talk to Sarah?
Yes, you may. So you're arriving where the clowns are gathering. All the clowns. You see one clown particularly who's staring intently at you. You notice, make a spot hidden roll.
Regular success.
Yeah. He is, Sarah, as I mentioned, had grabbed your hand, along with with Louise in tow. And you notice that this clown is staring intently at you with an expression of odd for a clown, but malice. Show you the thing.
No.
Oh, wonderful. No. Okay. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna look him in his eyes and sort of catch that look, and then turn back to Sarah and just say, I have never actually met a lady clown before, but I've got to say, you really make it work. Like, what do you do for this makeup? It's beautiful on you.
She mentions the kind of pancake makeup she uses. She goes through the different brands, and then she says, the secret is powdering. And Louise just mutters something about it being very embarrassing. You notice that Sarah, although she's a very good juggler and seems to be very fit, like she holds herself like somebody who's done a lot of exercise, is not very funny.
That's okay.
As a clown. But she does have the other qualities going for her. She just doesn't seem to have the quick wit that you would hope. So Hop Frog leaps up from about 20 feet away, and he does several tumbles, hand to hand, hand to foot, all over the area, and lands on the other side of you. And then he says, he brings out a little horn and honks it, and says to Sarah, "It's almost time! It's almost time!" And
Who is this lovely gentleman?
and Sarah, the clown, looks at you and says, "This is Hop Frog." And Hop Frog leaps up, and he does several dances. Hop Frog is my name.
You're a wonderful performer. Listen, me and the lady were just having a little conversation, so if you wouldn't mind hopping somewhere else, that'd be great.
But the time has almost come. The time has almost come for our performances.
No, okay. You know what? We'll be sure to come by and check that out. I just have a couple questions for the beautiful lady here, and your whole deal is really upsetting. So if you could just piss off, that'd be wonderful.
An expression comes over his face. He loses all of his sense of humor. Piss off. I'll piss off.
Well,
He mutters
thank you
something
so
under his
much.
breath and walks away. He loses any of his dancing and walks away, one very sad and angry clown.
You know, I really
Sarah-
like that guy.
Sarah says, "Yeah, he's a bit odd."
Yeah,
And
I
Louise
picked up
says-
on that a little bit.
Louise is like, "What's with him?" "Oh, I don't know. He's a little odd. I think it's starting to get to him, the circus life. You know, moving around so much, no roots. You know how it is." And Louise says, "No, I don't. I I barely remember."
Well, listen, Sarah, I actually had some questions about this circus. I'm a bit of a fish enthusiast, and I heard that there was a fish man coming to town, and I just had to check it out.
She's been juggling the whole time, and then stops and says, "I can't tell you anything. It would be my head. I can't tell you anything about the fish man."
You know, we're basically family. You know, me and Louise, and she's yours. We're like one big happy Connie family, and I'm looking for some information
Make a
for
persuade
my
roll.
own.
Make a
Okay.
persuade roll.
I'm gonna spend 2 luck to make that a hard success.
And then, so you realize you're not getting anywhere with Sarah because she's worried about her job. And then you happen to notice a look between Louise and Sarah that's like, Louise kind of gives her some sort of a look, and then she's like, "All right, since you're kind of family, they found this thing a couple of weeks ago, and somebody brought it in, and Phil thinks it's his ticket to New York.
Have you seen it?
Only briefly. It's small.
It's small.
It's small, and they got a little aquarium that they keep it in. You're gonna see it tonight, right?"
I suppose so. Hey, do you know if would Phil entertain a friend of the circus such as myself?
What do you mean? Would he talk to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked to you. There's some people that tried to buy the fish man already, so he told them to go to hell, come back with more money. But he is talking to people. He's about the money, Phil. He's not about the art of the circus, you know.
Yeah, well, that's something me and him can get along with then. Do you know what this Phil is? Could I maybe have a quick chat with him?
And here he is, and you can see Phil walking from where he was before in the midway, and he strides through the place And he says, "Time has come! Time has come!" He twirls his handlebar mustache. And he says, a photo for posterity! Come, clowns! Come, clowns! And all the clowns begin to gather in a group. The 3 on the bicycle, the 7 of them coming out of the same car. Just kidding. That's not
Is Mad Hops in the photo?
Yes. Hop Frog is his name. Not Mad Hops.
Just like right before they take the photo, I just want to give him like a little wink.
Excellent. After the photo is taken, you see Hop Frog sort of leap up, and he's standing beside Phil, and he's sort of cowering down and very low. And Phil looks at him, whispers something, and cuffs him across the head. And he takes it, tumbles a little bit, and then smiles and makes a joke out of it. But you can tell that it hurt.
Cool circus.
There's something about Phil that is his features are very sharp. He seems very, I would say, hawk-like. He's very dapper and obviously a born showman. You gather, and you can see now the 4 of you who are following Ralsa. Ralsa Marsh and his 2 thugs have now come closer too. There's a long lineup of people waiting to get into the pavilion. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and the main event is set for 8:30. The crowd snakes around. There's about say 60, 70 people getting into the pavilion. It holds around 200. So there is time to get in the lineup if you wish to see that. What actions would you like to take?
I'm gonna see if I can. First, I'm gonna say hi to everyone.
Excellent.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming.
Would you like to describe yourself? Would you like to describe yourself, Blue, as Jeb Spiegelman?
Oh yes, Jeb Spiegelman, kind of mousy-looking guy. Wears a suit that's one size too big for him. It's the same suit that he's been wearing and sleeping in for the past 2 years. Slick back hair that's thin and on the top. Constantly kind of a bit twitchy, looking around all the time. And he's kind of concerned that there's going to be some kind of massacre similar to the last time a fish person got loose when him and Babson were in the mansion.
Excellent. Okay, so carry on.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull aside Phil and see if I can have a chat with him.
You approach Phil, and after smacking Hop Frog aside, he appears to be heading towards the back of the tent, sort of around the side. You can see that Ralsa and his goons are looking at him. Oh wait, did you notice Ralsa before?
No.
No, scratch that, sorry. Anyone who watches this can see but you. You approach Phil. And he says, "Yes, what can I do for you, good sir?"
Phil, right?
Phil, yes.
Right. That's listen, my secretary, well, my dear friend, Louise actually brought me here, and she said that that she used to run this circus, or her family did, and that you took over. And I mean, I was wondering, this seems like a pretty profitable little event you have going here, and and I was wondering if you were looking for investors.
My good friend, I am always looking for investors.
Well, I'm actually, I'm a bit of I have a hobby of naturalism and cryptology, and I heard that your circus might have some very interesting specimens.
Indeed it does. We are unveiling tonight the world premiere of Fishman.
Yes, Fishman. Now, I was wondering how someone like you could come across a Fishman.
Ah, that would be telling. That would be telling.
Well, it's just for my research. I'm so fascinated by how you could stumble upon something this magnificent.
What was your name again?
Dubai?
What was your name again? Good sir.
Curtis DuBois.
Mr. DuBois, let me tell you something, a little trick of the trade. A magician never shows his tricks.
Would a magician show his tricks to someone who wanted to invest in his little endeavor? I want to see how things work around here. I can't just throw my money around.
Well, I tell you what, see the show, and then bring a check, and then we'll talk. Ah?
You know what, Phil? I like you. I'm going to see more of you later, all right?
I'll see you later. And he looks up, and you notice his expression changes very briefly, and then he flees to his tent. All of you who saw that exchange noticed that he did look at Rolsa and seemed to recognize him.
So this is bad. If he's worried about Rolsa, maybe this Fishman is a real thing. Maybe the Marshes are trying to get one of their own back.
That seems likely.
Okay, well, you guys, have you noticed anything else strange other than the occasional creepy clown?
Curtis, make a spot hidden roll, please.
That is not good.
Babson, you make a spot hidden roll, please.
I'll spend 5 luck to make that succeed.
Okay. You see, your eye catches a lovely figure, a couple actually, along the coming out from the roller coaster and heading towards the balloon stand. The gentleman, unfamiliar to you as of yet, hands a balloon to the lady, and the balloon it's a green balloon, quite large, and she smiles, laughs, and takes it from him, and she looks very familiar to you.
Is it Asenath?
It is.
Again, I like point her out and say, okay, everyone's here.
Right. All right, well, let's all keep on our toes. God, Asenath and that creepy Mosh guy. Listen, Luther, if the fish thing is hostile, can you, talk to it or anything?
No, Jet. Well, I don't know. I can try.
Yeah, I don't, your grandpappy didn't murder us. Maybe you can, bubble at it or something.
Well, has Astrid shared her knowledge about, or no, oh, never mind. Well, what do we know about this fish man? Is he giant? Could he be my grandfather?
No, they say he's tiny. I didn't know they came in tiny.
Right.
I guess we all just got to go look at this thing.
Yeah.
You want us to wait in line to go see this?
Yes.
No, I feel we got a VIP pass. It's all good.
Okay, because I was going to say I'm a federal agent. I feel like I might have some ability to skip the line here.
Well, I don't think that we want them knowing you're a federal agent just yet. Of course, you are the professional here, but I'm just throwing out little bits of wisdom when I can.
I mean, I'm not the one who screams about it every time we meet up, but...
Okay, while you two figure this out, I'm going to go stand in line, and then just wave me back over if we're not going to stand in line.
That's good thinking, Luther.
David,
Yes.
can I maybe talk to some of the people in line and
Sure.
see if anyone has heard, if I can hear it or getting any more information about the fish person or anything about the show itself?
Excellent. So you're just going to show up, pick somebody in line?
Yeah, I'm going to take my hat off and kind of be like, oh, so good to be off duty. Kind of undo a button, pretend I'm off duty. Yeah, sure. Could I maybe do...
You've got a
I'm not
bag
sure what-
that you can throw your hat into and undo.
Okay.
Like, people are so unused to seeing a cop without the hat, without the badge. You don't quite look as much like a cop. So,
Okay.
so you do your best. There is a couple standing, or many couples obviously in the line, some kids. There's a couple that look like they're out on a first date. She's got a little teddy bear that she's holding, and they look very awkward together. She's wearing a pink dress, and he's got a white shirt with a pink tie. That's the first couple you notice. And after them, there's an old couple. There's like 8 kids and an old lady. And then there's a family, and they look like they should not be in the line. They look like conservatives. Everything's buttoned up, and the kids want to play with the other kids, but they're quickly slapped down by their parents and pulled tight.
Okay, maybe I'll talk to the awkward couple first.
Okay, you approach them, and they look at you, and it looks like they haven't been speaking for the last couple of minutes. And the woman says, "Hello."
I love your dress.
"Oh, thank you. My mama made it for me," she says.
She looks
And,
beautiful tonight, doesn't she? I'm going to say to the guy.
He says, You do look beautiful. I probably should have said so earlier. Yes, you look good. I like the way
Isn't
you look."
he a lamb? If only I was as lucky as you to have such a sweet boy.
She's like, "Yeah, he is a sweet boy, but my God, I wish he would say something once in a while." And he looks and he goes, "Really? I thought I was supposed to be the strong and silent type."
No, girls like funny guys. Don't you know that?
I
That's
could
why
be
clowns
funny.
get all the babes.
At that point, a hop frog just like flops over and through, and he looks at her, and looks at Hop Frog, and he says, "Yeah, I see what you mean." Say, Miss, can we help you?
Yeah, I was wondering, have you guys heard about the show? It's worth getting in line?
Oh, yeah. It's they say that the clown that just hopped by, he's very funny. They got something at the top, which it's going to be really good, and then they got this thing that nobody's ever seen. It's going to
You
make
mean
it
the
into the
fish
Guinness
man?
Book of World Records. What? Yeah, the fish man. Yeah, can't wait to
Have
see
you
the
guys
fish man.
heard anything about the fish man?
He holds up a piece of paper, and it's like a pamphlet that shows, looks like it says freak show, and it says fish man, and there's like, it looks like the bottom half of a mermaid and the top half of a pirate.
Where'd you get that?
All these were being handed around. You want them? I got a couple of them. Been given to my cousin.
Sure, I'll take one.
Yeah, so you've got it now.
Great.
The fish man.
Is there any information on it at all?
Edward Phil's Magical Circus presents a freak show the like of which the world has never seen. On Friday night, the debut of The Fish Man in very lurid font.
Okay, so it's trash.
Make a sanity check. No, you don't have to. All right, so
Right?
so that's
The font, oh my god.
I'm going to. It seems like these people don't really have any more information.
no. They just look at the pamphlet that they shared with you.
Okay. I'm gonna pretend to trip and kind of nudge the girl into the guy so they get a little bit closer.
He grabs her and says, "Oops, you fell." And she said, "Oh, did I?" And she looks at you.
I'm gonna wink at her.
And you notice that they're a little bit closer now than they were before, and their arms, their hands are brushing like this, so they look on the verge of holding hands.
Amazing.
Good job.
Okay, cool. I'm going to talk to the family, the sort of uptight-looking family, or walk by them at least.
All right, let's switch to Babson. You're in the lineup, and you're standing there in the lineup, and it's actually moving pretty well while everybody else talks about being VIPs. You're standing there, and the thing seems to be moving in. The audience is as I've described it. It's funny because 3 people ahead of you is Ralsa Marsh, and about 20 people behind you, because people started getting in the lineup as soon as you did. Other people joined it, and you can see that behind you is Asenath and her date, an older gentleman. Not older as in old, but older than her. She's early 20s, and he's mid to late 30s. Can't hear you, Adrian.
Do I recognize him? Like, I'm specifically thinking about when we were in the bagel shop. Is he the same guy?
Yes.
The professor, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm thinking. I don't know if we could confirm that, but I'm pretty
Professor
sure.
Later is
Later, Charles Later.
LIIIIVE. Yeah.
Right. So I think when I got in line, I was kind of keeping an eye out for Asenath more, but seeing Ralsa and him being so close, I think more of my attention has been there. Specifically, like a little bit more on the thugs. Like I'm looking to see if they like turn their face, like if I can recognize them. Like
Make a spot hidden
wanna-
roll. Make a spot hidden.
Okay, that's a regular success.
You're pretty sure both of them are packing.
Okay.
And one of them looks like they have a long arm concealed under their jacket. And you've seen enough Tommy guns to know that it could definitely be a Tommy gun.
I want to, as like subtly as I can, kind of like indicate that, like.
That's a very difficult thing to be subtle about. Do you guys have a
I want to just like point at Jeb.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk up to him and say, "What the hell do you want?"
I go. I
Wait.
lean down.
Yeah, go on.
I lean down and I go like, Tommy gun, like whisper.
I didn't bring one. Oh, no, I got you. Okay. All right. I'm going to wait in line with Babson.
All right. And Louise joins you as well. She didn't hear that line about Tommy gun. Hawkridge, what are you doing?
Well, I give a sigh of frustration because Jeb refused to listen to me explain that I wasn't trying to skip the line, trying to just forgo having to see the spectacle at all and just go in the way. But I guess now we're waiting in line. So since I've been beaten by birds, I also begrudgingly join the line.
Play
On my
amazing, horrific Call of Cthulhu, where you too can wait in line for hours. Make a wait in line
Really
roll.
goodness.
Perhaps later you can do a library use roll. It's the worst stereotype of what people think of Call of Cthulhu is. Anyway, all right, so you get in line, and Curtis, What are you doing?
As Luther went over to the lineup, Curtis thought to get some snacks. Started moving towards the snack stands.
Okay, they have cotton candy. They have popcorn. They have roasted corn. They've got nuts. What would you like?
Well, nuts sound good, but he's also interested in the employees at each of these stands.
Make a psychology roll or a spot hidden. You pick.
All right. Spot hidden, regular success.
You notice that everyone seems to be on edge a little bit. They're not everything. The humor seems to be forced. The laughter seems to be forced. They seem to be putting on a bit more of a show. Feels that there's a falseness to this to these people.
Curtis chooses perhaps a female employee to approach, whether that be the chestnut stand or the popcorn stand is irrelevant at this point.
Yes.
And goes over and introduces himself. Well,
there's a young girl who's selling popcorn, and she says, "What can I get for you?"
Well, perhaps a little bit of those popcorns for myself and my friends would sure be nice.
All right, salted?
Well, myself, I'm not particular about salt. Perhaps we should have one of each.
So she does, and she puts some salt in one, hands them over to you. There you go, sir.
Well,
That'll
thank
be
you.
Small amount in 1920s money.
Well, perhaps
2 pennies.
2 pennies.
2
for
pennies.
yourself. And
You know what I hate?
Curtis.
Every time I talk to you, Darcy, all of my characters become Southern.
Contagious.
It's contagious. All right, so she says, that'll be 2 pennies, sir.
well, 2 pennies does not sound like enough. Perhaps you'll be needing. What's this I have here? A quarter. How about a quarter for you?
Sure. She brings her. I'll take a quarter.
It's no, never mind. Money's never been an issue for me.
She said, "What do you want, good sir? What do you want?"
Well, we're all excited about this fish expedition, and where I come from, in Florida, New Smyrna Beach, there are some folks who, for fishing for them is very special. You catch fish down there that are larger than a human himself. So I'm very excited about this, and I was hoping perhaps you could get me a front row seat.
50 cents.
50 cents? Well, you do drive a hard bargain, but perhaps if I say something, you know, it's wise folks like yourself that know how to deal with these situations. How about a whole dollar? Would that make you happy?
There's a. As you say that, dollar, you notice that she looks up and she looks over your shoulder, and there's a woman that's walking over to you, and she's dressed in sort of very bright clothing that's sort of almost like rags, but fancier than that, and in a dress. She's got black lips. And quite a bit of makeup on, although she does look very attractive. Perhaps in her early 30s, she comes over and she says, "Beulah, is there anything I can help you with?" And Beulah says, the person you're speaking with, says, "No, ma'am, I'm fine. just a patron who wants a little bit of guidance. And she said, all right, if there's any problem, you just let me know. She moves over, swishing in the background. She smells like incense.
Ah, you know where I come from, the indigo plant does have a very nice scent to it, but nothing quite like that scent. Where does that come from?
I don't know. You notice that the woman that that had interrupted your conversation to check in with her has gone into a tent that's marked fortune teller.
Ah, I'm very interested in that. I do believe I shall follow this lady into that tent.
Hawkridge, you can see this going down. You see Curtis talk to this woman. You guys are at this point. Both you and Babson and Spiegelman are caught up in the lineup, bored and watching Curtis talk to this young popcorn seller.
Well, honestly, I'm not a very patient person. I don't enjoy waiting in line. So I decide that I'm just going to go talk to that woman. Because why not?
All right.
At this point.
All right.
So I walk first.
You're pretty certain you're going to get into this exhibit anyway, and that the line is just to make people think that it's this big event. And so you make a beeline for the fortune teller. And you can see above the door, or the tent flap, I should say, it says Vedoma Katsia, fortune teller.
All right, so I walk in and I'm trying to really channel my inner Astrid to become maybe a people person in the next 15 seconds to hopefully get good rapport going.
And as she looks at you, and she's sitting behind, there's a tarot cards by her side. She looks at you and she says, oh, hello.
Hello?
Sad to see you.
I've come to get my fortune read.
You've come to get your fortune read. Of course you have. Have a seat.
Yes. Yeah. And I sit down, kind of perched on the chair, looking rather uncomfortable. The sense is very overwhelming.
She shuffles the tarot cards, and she says, please make yourself comfortable. Tea, she points out, and there's a little bit of tea. It seems to be hot, and you're not sure what heated it up in this tent.
No, I'm okay.
Please shuffle these cards.
I shuffle the cards. I kind of hesitate because I don't know when I'm stopped.
Stop now. Now cut them in half.
I cut them in half.
And draw the first card. This is what is behind you.
I draw the first card.
It's a card that is immediately recognizable to you. It's a card that's called Strength, and shows a strong man standing, braving some sort of future, and there's something about it that is reassuring to you, this card. You can almost see your own face in the face of the man facing the future in the picture. And she says, strength is behind you, my dear. You are strong-willed. Draw the next card.
I draw the next card, frantically thinking of a way how I'm going to get information out of her because I seem to have lost control of the situation.
The Five of Wands. Five of Wands is an interesting card as you draw it, and she says, this is what you're facing now. Beware. The Five of Wands. And what you see is a card where it's a number of figures, and they're clashing with the wands. They look long sticks. They look like they're having some sort of battle amongst themselves. There are people that you are allied with that you cannot trust. Be careful. This card is about strife. It's about trouble with friends.
I draw the next card.
And this is what is ahead of you, my dear. And this, yes, I saw it when you came in. This card. I don't want to say that it is ill fortune, but perhaps for you it may be. This is the Hermit card. This is the future that awaits you. You will be alone. And when the end comes, you will be alone.
I'm at a loss as I try to think of what to say. That's it. I'm going to be alone.
That's what the card says. Not I. I read your fortune.
Are you always such a downer with everybody who comes in?
My dear, my role is not to tell you what you want to hear. Is to tell you what may be.
Are you going to hawk some kind of magical herbs that bring me good fortune or bring me love? I'm just trying to figure out your angle here.
No, you will pay the same as anyone. 25 cents, please.
I take out the 25 cents, put it on the table, and I say, how long have you worked here?
Make a spot hidden roll.
Oh. Extreme, nope, hard success.
The, hard success?
Yeah, hard success.
You can't help but look over the cards as they were laid on the table, and you notice that the friends that you're facing, that look like you are facing against, there is a face on one of them that seems familiar. It looks like Agent Trent. And then when you see the Hermit card and you alone, you can see a photo. A picture on the ground. These are odd cards because they feel like they were made perhaps in the last 10 years, and yet they look like they've been through a lot, shuffled, reshuffled many times. And there's a photo or picture on the ground of a young woman, and then you can barely make out a D underneath the name.
I swear to God, David, if you kill my sister, I'm gonna lose my mind. Well, I see the D, and then I have this pitfall in my stomach, which I try to cover up with logic and reason, and that a woman who does not know me cannot tell me that my sister is going to. I will not lose my sister, and so I might become a little harder in my question. I go, sorry, how long have you worked here?
The tent flap opens, and Curtis DuBois pokes his head in. We are in the middle of a reading, says Kazia. We're in the middle of a reading.
My sincere apologies. I was hoping perhaps to join my friend here in exploring the world of fate. My fates are already decided. This I know. But perhaps my friend here could get some insight into these sorts of things.
Vidoma says, is your fate decided? Over your head I see many fates, and they're not all decided. Neither is yours. She looks at you. Neither is yours.
Well, it sounds like we have a mystery to solve. Perhaps we can discover what happens next.
Do you wish to be part of this, Hawkridge? Do you want to keep asking your questions?
No, at this point, I feel like I'm unsettled enough that, and I've asked her twice, and she just feels like the kind of person who's going to keep giving me these kind of answers, and I'm unsettled enough that I'm kind of relieved for once that Curtis has interrupted what I'm doing.
Make an idea roll.
Idea. What would idea be under? Is that skills?
That's an intelligence roll.
Or is that intelligence? Okay. Regular success.
As you're leaving the tent, it flaps behind you, and your heart kind of skips as you realize that the D that was on the card is very distinctive because your sister had a monogrammed handkerchief with that exact D, and it was in her handwriting.
Yeah, well, I'm going to compartmentalize that information when I can unpack that later. Maybe never, because that's the person I am.
And you, please have a seat, she says to Curtis.
Oh, my. This is quite an honor to discuss these matters with you, but perhaps we can forego this ritual, and first I'll ask you, what is your fee for this service?
25 cents. Good sir.
Curtis provides a nice shiny quarter. Says, if I may, we can start with discussing something that I've been ever so much wanting to discuss with someone.
She hands you the cards. Shuffle these.
Well, perhaps there will be some waterfall in this for me. A watershed of fortune that will flow over me in such a manner.
You draw the first card.
Is that what I am supposed to do now? Draw a card?
Yes, please.
Well, here we go. He draws a card.
It's the Justice card, and it's upside down. She says, there is great injustice in your past. There's something that you must redress. There's something haunting you.
My. You are deserving of an extra fee. Is that all?
Oh, no. Draw another card.
Certainly. Draws another card.
5 of Cups. This has three. This is a person on a field. They have 2 cups on the field and 3 cups falling over. And she says, this card is what you're facing now. It's a card of loss. But hope. 2 cups remain, although 3 have fallen. The last card. Draw it.
Certainly. Draws the last one.
This is a card that shows a man stabbed by 8 blades. Your future is one of strife and violence. I see violence in your future. The swords hang over your head. You must be very careful. There are sharp edges everywhere.
There most certainly are sharp edges everywhere. I always come prepared. He pulls the sword out of the cane just a little bit. You are very good at this, aren't you?
Yes, I've been doing it for many years. You make a spot hidden roll, Curtis.
Hidden. Oh, I will spend 1 luck.
You can see on the swords card that the person who's been stabbed wields a sword as well, and that sword is coming out of what looks like a sheath, very much like your cane.
Well, well, well. As I said before, my fates are sealed. What can I do about it? What can I do?
She points out the moon above, and she says, "Be very careful on the full moon."
Vadoma,
Curtis.
there have been issues on my mind lately. Perhaps you could let me know if you've heard anything about this god. There's some god from Africa, as my understanding. I don't know, some sort of yib titsu gods. I don't know, it's just a fancy I had, something I read. Don't never mind.
She says, "Draw one last card."
He draws another card.
The card is a grotesque figure, and it's hovering over a man and a woman who are naked, and it says underneath it, "The Devil." And she says, "Well, you have met the devil. I would be very careful, Mr. DuBois. Very careful in the future. The devil will haunt you."
And that is what I have come for. Curtis takes another quarter out and puts it on the table and puts his sword back into the
He gestures to the tea and a little paper cup. Well, you can have some if you like. Hawkridge, you are at the end of the line. And Curtis is with you. What's that?
I can't like just like join my group again. If I walk up with confidence.
Absolutely. You can
Okay,
join.
good.
You join Luther and Jeb and Elliot. You are with them as well. Is that right, or are you a little ahead of the line?
I was gonna try to maybe get a few people or one person behind Aseneth and the professor, and see if maybe I could do a little bit of listening, see if they're talking about anything.
Excellent.
Because they don't know who I am. They've never met me.
How fast is this line moving? Like, do we have time to go take in some more sights?
Yeah, you do. As long as one person is on the line, you can absolutely do that.
Okay. Well, listen, Luther and Louise, I was wondering if we could take a little look at this this House of Freaks they got going.
You pay the pittance that it costs to go into the House of Freaks in one door, and then there's a long line of cages, and each cages has a coloring of like a different, like a bright blue or a yellow or a red, and all along it's lit by these really garish gaslights, and each one describes what it is. There's the Bone Man, and the Bone Man, you can see he's sort of sitting there. He's smoking a cigarette, and he looks like a very, very thin person, as one might expect. He doesn't seem to be putting on much of a show, the Bone Man. He's just a guy who's really skinny. You actually get a chance to be in the freak show kind of alone as everybody's lining up for the pavilion. And he looks at you and he smokes a cigarette and he says, "Hey."
Hi there.
"I'm the Bone Man."
Yeah, I can see that. Listen, God, what is it like to work at a place like this?
Oh, well, you know, what else can I do?
I don't know, like accounting?
I'm no good with numbers. I switch digits.
Oh, Christ, well. Listen, man, are you guys concerned at all that you're gonna be out of work soon with the boss's new show?
Oh, no. That once people see one, they'll want to see us all. My job's safe. There ain't another bone man for 500 miles.
Yeah, I've got to ask, what is your diet?
Oh, I don't know. I eat just as much as anybody else. It's just I can't keep any weight on.
Huh, wish I was blessed with that, you know?
No, you don't. It's awful.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like,
okay.
If you really knew what it was like to be me, you would not want to be me. I'm sorry, friend. I mean, wait, sorry. I'm the Bone Man.
You really don't have to, you know, I'm just getting some space.
All right, you want to smoke? He throws
Sure.
him a cigarette. Lights it.
I light it. So, listen, you've got to... There's some weird stuff going on at this circus, you know? If I can be frank with you.
Well, circus is
I
a
don't
weird
mean-
trade.
Yeah, it is, but like, more than usual. Like, you're the most normal person I have met at this circus so far.
Oh, well, thank you, I think. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Normal.
Yeah, is your boss okay in the head?
Phil?
Yeah,
Oh, he's a psychopath.
okay,
But he leaves
How
me
so?
alone. I break easy.
right. Does he, like, concern himself with, like, strange books, strange friends, anything like that?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he just cares about making money and beating the shit out of people.
Christ.
Yeah, you should talk to Hop Frog. He might have a story to tell.
I don't think Hot Frog wants to talk to me. Did you know how long have you been here? Did you know the original owners?
I did. Yeah. I've been here for a long time. You know, I'm in my mid-40s. I don't look like it, but I am.
Well, you look wonderful.
Thanks.
What were they like?
Oh, they were lovely people. It was a real family joint, you know?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, there was an accident, and they both got crushed by he points out this he's making some object in the sky. We had a display and it fell on their tent and they both died.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a horrible way to go.
And was Phil part of the circus before
Oh,
they
yeah.
died?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. He's been with the circus as long as I have.
Huh. Listen, what's your name?
They just call me the Bone Man.
No, but like, what's your actual name?
Fred.
Fred. You know, it's nice to meet you. I'm Jeb.
Jeb, nice to meet you too. And he reaches his hand through the cage, and
Give him a little shake.
because you shake it very gently though, because even that much of a touch, you could feel how weak his hands are.
Listen, Fred. There's something weird going on tonight in this place.
Yeah, I can feel that. There's a atmosphere that something's happening.
Yeah, I would say that if, just be on your toes tonight, Fred, and if things get out of hand, just run.
He looks at you. I don't run away from problems, but I get your point, Jeb. I'll keep an eye out for it. I'm not, don't worry, this isn't a real cage. And he knocks at the back of it. And it's just a flap, like a tent.
Okay, well, listen, if you see any, anything that's even, really peculiar or dangerous, could you let me know? Me and some associates of mine are kind of in the business of dealing with these problems.
Yeah, all right. You got a card or something?
Yeah, sure.
And he takes your card, and he says, "Huh, I don't know any lawyers." And then
What you do now?
And he looks for a place to stick it, and then he just pulls out a thin wallet and sticks it in there. He says,
Even the wallet's thin.
Thanks, Jeb. Glad to meet your acquaintance. I got to go back to being the Bone Man. And he
Yeah, keep it up, buddy.
And he just sort of holds on to the cage and looks at people as they're coming in behind you. You move down the freak show, and there's a tattooed lady, and she's there on her stall. It says that she's on all night, and then at 11 it costs extra because there's more to see.
All right, well, I'll be back for 11 then.
She looks at you and she gives a wink. There's a sort of a tawdriness to this. At this time in American history and with the circus, freak shows were actually kind of on the way out because people started seeing these things as medical problems and not just how crazy everyone was and just with their deformities. And you go through the entire set, and there's one stall missing at the end, and it's designed, it's set up that eventually the very last of the freak show will be this fish man, and it's covered up. It says, "This is the fish man" all around it, but inside you can't see anything. It's just covered up with cloth.
Can I take a little peek? Can I move the cloth?
Yeah, there's glass there. It's an aquarium of some kind. It's dark.
How strong does it look?
Yeah, strong. Strong. Looks like it would be really hard to carry. There are wheels on the bottom of it. It looks like it was custom made out of glass, really thick glass.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave then.
All right, Astrid. You head back, and you guys have gone. The line has moved 10 feet, and you use that opportunity to get a little bit closer to Aseneth. The guy is talking, and he's talking a lot about himself. He's talking about the artwork he collects, the books he collects, and how much of a big deal he is as a prof at Miskatonic. And she's very much... Now, you didn't have a conversation with her before, did you?
No.
She's not what was described to you at all. She seems... She laughs girlishly at his terrible jokes and seems to be fascinated with him in a way that does seem a little bit out of character from what was described to you. The two of them, and he goes on about this book he's found and that book he's found and how much of an expert he is on languages and other cultures.
Okay. Can I do either a psychology or maybe a spot hidden on her to see if she's hiding anything?
Make a psychology roll.
Fail.
Aseneth is very hard to read. But this girlish side of her doesn't seem in keeping with what was said before. I'll give you that. Otherwise, your conclusions are your own. I'm going to move to Babson. You haven't done anything for a while after getting back in the line. Any actions?
I think Luther is frustrated with how slowly the line is moving. Because again, he's really anxious about seeing this fish thing and seeing what it is. So he just wants to go take a walk. And Aseneth has a balloon, right?
Yes, she does. The green balloon.
I want to go to the balloon stand as I'm just passing by. I think I'm going to go ask the balloon stand attendant about them.
Okay, you walk up to the balloon stand attendant, and he's a rough guy who does not look like he should have a pencil-thin mustache, but he does. And he's sweating profusely, and he says, "Yeah, what can I do for you?"
And then I'll just try and point, but not too obviously. Say,
Yeah, that's the pavilion.
Not the pavilion. Thank you. That woman.
Yeah, she's a looker, eh? She's a looker.
She is. And the gentleman she was with.
You like the gentleman?
No. Was there anything about them?
I don't understand why she likes balloons. She's kind of old for that, but I don't know. No, nothing crazy.
Were they talking about anything?
Books and stuff.
Like what kind?
They mentioned. I think he mentioned a book called Iliad.
Oh. How's she seen?
Pretty.
Personality-wise.
Pretty nice.
Thank you.
No problem. You want a balloon?
Sure. I'll take that.
He hands you. What colors?
What colors are they?
He's got 3 pink ones, a light blue one, and a black balloon.
Okay, I'll take the black balloon. That's odd.
Hey, it's to the end of the batch.
All right, I'll take the black balloon and the light blue one.
Okay, and that'll be.
Yeah. Sorry. Just, do you work in the circus all the time? Are you from around here?
No, I'm not from around here. I just do whatever they tell me to do, and they told me to sell balloons today, so I'm selling them.
You're not from Arkham?
Oh God, no! I never set foot in this town.
Really?
Yeah, too many ghosts.
Ghosts?
Yeah, ghosts.
Literal? You mean literally, or?
Oh no! I had an ex. She lived here a few years ago.
Oh. What was that like?
Oh,
Arkham proper?
She was a BITHC. She was. I don't know. It didn't end well, my friend. Didn't end well.
Yeah.
Can't really. Yeah, too many ghosts in this town. Anyway, I gotta sell some balloons. I got 3 left.
Right. I'll take.
They're all pink. You want a pink balloon? He says to
I'll
a kid.
take three of the pink balloons.
So you have 5 balloons now. You bought all of his balloons.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Do you know anything about the fish man?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What do you know about him?
Oh, with my cousin that found him.
Your cousin found him.
Yeah.
Where? Is your cousin here?
No, he gave me a call, and I told Phil about it, and then Phil went and got him.
Well, listen, I'm going to see the show. I want to see the Fishman. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, they found him off the coast of Nova Scotia.
Right. And
yeah, he was all caught up in the net.
He was alive.
Oh yeah, he's alive. He's a man. Well, a kid, really. Yeah, never seen anything like that.
Is he like a mermaid? Like he's got legs?
No mermaid I ever saw. Jeez. You're not gonna wanna do anything with that.
Could you draw a picture of him or something?
No, I can't. I got a job to do by.
No, well, what do you mean? You got no balloons left. You're done.
I gotta go get some more balloons. I'm not gonna draw you pictures of a mermaid. What you take me for?
Not a mermaid, the fish man.
I gotta go get some more balloons. and he waves you off.
All right, I guess I'll go back with my balloons. Yeah.
You go back to the line. You can see Hawkridge and DuBois looking a little bit. What? How would you describe yourselves for that experience at the fortune teller?
Ernest is somewhat looking like he's pleased about his recent experience. He does feel a little bit of intensity, but he seems to like that. He has 2 bags of popcorn in his hand right now, and he's looking around at, finally, there you are. You left the lineup, dear young boy. You left the lineup. I got these popcorns for you. He hands a popcorn to Luther. Where are these balloons? My goodness.
And Hawkridge, how are you?
Well, I'm still unnerved by the conversation I had with the fortune teller and frustrated that I didn't get a single answer from her. She literally didn't answer a question I had. And so I'm taking my frustrations out on the fact that I'm still waiting in this line, and this is the longest half hour of my life. I'm just tapping my foot and my arms across, and the people in front of me are doing that thing where you can, like, they can tell that I'm getting frustrated. It's actually making them a little bit uncomfortable. So, like, they're kind of inching forward to get away from, like, this small huffing maybe child that's behind them. And I see Luther come over with people, and I am confused, but I decide not to push it because I've seen stranger things than buying 5 balloons for yourself, I guess.
All right. So I'm going to let you all off the hook. The line starts proceeding. And
Can I quickly chat with Louise?
Yeah, sure. Hi, boss. How was the freak show?
Kind of underwhelming, to be
Sarah
honest.
isn't there anymore. Sarah is gone.
Sorry?
Sarah is gone.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of underwhelming. Listen, I was actually talking to one of them, Fred, and he said he knew your parents.
Oh, yeah, Fred. Yeah.
Nice guy.
He is. He was like an older brother to Sarah and I growing up. He's a good man.
But he told me about your parents' accident. I had no idea.
Well, everybody in Arkham has a sad story, don't they?
That is true. Listen, I was wondering, did you ever suspect foul play with that?
It seemed like a freak accident. I never thought about it. Who would do such a thing?
Well, I mean, the guy just told me that Phil's a psychopath, and then he takes over.
Oh, that's a bit strong. That's a bit strong. He has a temper, but that's a bit strong.
Okay. Well, listen, if you ever need help of my sort of particular skill set, you just need to let me know, okay?
The fact that you care so much means so much to me, she says, inching a bit closer.
Not quite that much, more like a familial care,
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, that's weird. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you did. I thought that's what you meant.
Good.
I know, I've only ever... Because, no, I mean, why would you? Because we're so... Of course. It's fine.
No, like, I'm not the kind of guy who goes after his secretary, right? That would be
of course not. Oh, wow, balloons, she says, and she points at the pink balloons.
Okay. Yeah,
well,
good
crowd
thought, Louise.
Forward, and you enter into the pavilion. Poor Louise. Jeez, Louise. All right, so the lot of you move into the pavilion, and There are seats for all. There are long tables or long benches that you can find yourselves in, and then there's a stage which thrusts into the center. Behind, in the center of the stage, there is a tent covering something. It's like sheets covering that sort of look like a tent, all in the red and white of the circus. And in front of it is Hop Frog the clown. And Hop Frog is leaping around, causing much laughter amongst the children. And he's sort of warming up the crowd. People are laughing away at his jokes, and you catch a little bit of his set. And you hear it. The joke you come in on is, what did the fish say when he swam into a wall? And he flips, and then he stops short and goes, damn! And then leaps out. And then he looks over at Luther and he points directly at him as you take a seat. Why did the fish blush? Because he saw the ocean's bottom! And he leaps backwards, does another somersault.
I think one of the balloons just like floats away.
It goes all the way up and hits the ceiling and is bobbing up there, this pink balloon, registering your disapproval. And then he points at Jeb and he says, what part of a fish weighs the most?
The pisser? The pisser?
It's scales. And he looks around again. Sarah then comes out behind him and she's doing her juggling routine, and people are applauding as she manages to do 4 or 5 balls going through, and then Hop Frog throws her an object and she starts juggling a knife as well as balls. You can see her throwing it up, and then she throws each ball away and another knife, and pretty soon she's juggling 4 or 5 knives up and away. She raises them all up, catches them, 3 in one hand and 2 in the other, and enormous applause. And then Hop Frog leaps back out and he says, well, that's our time. If you know any better jokes, let me know. And leaps away. And one of the children is crying, and a 6-year-old kid looks at his mom and says, that clown's scary. And then another little kid goes, I don't understand. I don't get it. Mommy, why is the mean clown there? Finally, Phil comes out, and he struts across the stage with his cane. And as he does so, you can see Ralsa and his goons standing at the back of the tent, and they move down the side, trying to get a little bit of a closer look. You can see Asenath sitting up straight, watching this event, trying to get a better look. And her companion taps someone in the seat ahead of them and asks them to remove their hats so she can see. And then she smiles at him like such a gallant. And the lady takes her hat off, and everyone leans forward as Phil begins his introduction. From the cold waters of the Atlantic, where no man knows what can be seen, comes a creature half man, half fish, the like of which the world has never seen. And yes, he did rhyme seen and seen, and you're thinking, oh, that's not very good. But he continues. This creature, good friends, this creature, fierce, strange, not quite human, is something that you have to see to believe. The Fishman of the Atlantic. Webbed hands. And he holds his hands up. The eyes of the deep. And you can see people are fanning themselves now, as even though it's October, this room is pretty warm. Hold your applause, he says, until it is fully revealed. I give you, he goes over and he grabs a rope, the Fishman! And he pulls the curtain off, falls. There's an aquarium that's revealed. And the aquarium, it's about 5 feet by about 8 feet. The water fills the entire thing. The water is dark, and it's kind of yellowy water. It does not look healthy at all. And you can see swimming around in the filth of the water. There looks like, at first you think it's just a boy, because they look like they could be 7 or 8 years old. But then you see the big bulbous eyes of a person, but also of a fish. The skin is pale and slightly green. The arms are free, and yet the lower part of the body is actually glistening scales, fish. It's got sharp bits sticking out all over it, like a catfish almost. And yet the eyes, you keep coming back to the eyes. They're blue, and they're young. The pupils are wide, and it has an expression on its face like a human boy. And it brings its hands up, its webbed hands up to the window, and looks at you in horror, at the audience in horror. It looks. There's a murmur of fear, of wonder out of the audience. They've never seen anything like that. In fact, you've never seen anything like that. It belies everything you know about humanity and about the way evolution is supposed to go. Instead of feet, it has a tail, but it has a couple of small prehensile what do you want to call that? Limbs that look almost like feet as well. And its hands, although they're webbed, they look very much like a human boy's. He's got a thin scale going down the side, and he looks like he's shocked and afraid by the audience. If he could cry in the salty water, he would, with his own tears mixing into it. Make sanity checks.
Why?
What did you get?
I passed.
Astrid failed.
Just lose
I
one.
passed.
Lose one if you fail. This whatever this thing is, it is some sort of hybrid between a fish and human, and it is obviously intelligent, and it obviously feels emotion because it's expressing it in horror. The kids are not happy that are looking at it, but adults, specifically men, they seem to be drawn to it a little bit, and they're pushing forward.
Can I see what Mosh is doing?
Make a psychology roll.
I'd like to do the same thing for Asenath.
Make a psychology roll.
Ugh.
My psychology is terrible as well. Hey!
Hard success.
Hard success looking at Aseneth.
I failed looking at Marsh.
Do you want to make any luck on that?
No, I failed so badly
Okay.
that it's not going to happen.
Ralsa's face is placid. He has, however, moved several feet towards the stage, and he glides along, seemingly unperturbed by it. The two goons beside him, they look like they're reaching into their clothes. Right?
I'm gonna tap Luther on the shoulder and say, we got to keep close to those guys. And then I'm gonna try to move up to, within 5 or 10 feet of them. Behind them, though.
Yeah, same. I'll follow.
All right. Astrid, you make your success on Aseneth. She looks a bit pale, like that whole ditzy thing that she was pretending before is gone. She looks a bit pale. She looks over at Ralsa, and she looks at the man beside her is jabbering on about something, about having seen this kind of thing before, blah blah blah, but it's all bullshit, and she's ignoring him completely and staring at the eyes. One, she looks over at Ralsa, and then she's staring at the eyes of the little child thing, and those eyes, all of you can't help but take in.
I'm gonna move sideways to try to get a little bit closer to Marsh as well.
All right. So there's
And I got my hand on my pistol.
the
Fucking
child,
ready.
the child thing swims around but can't get out of its case. It does enough swimming that everybody gets a full view, and you can see now that the water, that it is a mixture of, like, there's yellow in it. It looks like it's peed or something. Like the water looks like it's definitely smoky, and there's some detritus in it. It looks like it's been kept in this thing for a long time, or long enough that it has soiled the water that it's in. Phil is making up stuff now, just playing to the crowd about it being the source of the ancient mermaids, and talking about the sea and the mysteries of the sea, just babbling on about stuff that, as people that have seen a few things, is just nonsense.
I'm gonna nudge Luther and say, do you recognize it at all?
No, but remember what Edith was saying about why she wanted Andrew? So maybe
A child, right?
yeah, like maybe one of them.
You can make a Cthulhu mythos roll if anyone wants to.
I would love to.
Yeah.
A what roll?
Cthulhu mythos.
Cthulhu mythos.
I think mine's like non-existent.
I wouldn't be ashamed of that.
Let's take a
Oh, I don't have it. Oh no, I do have it here. All right.
look. Mine's 0.
Nope.
Yeah, I failed to.
All right. Your thoughts are your own. So the spectacle continues, and then after a while, Phil says, "Alas, alas, the fishman must go back to the sea. He can only spend so much time amongst us before he goes back to Poseidon." And he moves, and then he pulls another rope, and the aquarium is covered, and everybody groans, and he says, but please, tell your friends, tell your family, come back. There will be another reveal tomorrow night of the Fishman. And people are beginning to move away, and Aseneth is, she sort of grabs Professor Leiter and motions. She gets a little bit closer to the stage and looking at it, and Ralsa and his two goons have not moved. You guys want
I'm
to
gonna
leave?
stick with Ralsa.
Okay. What else do you want to do? Anyone else want to take an action? Do you want to leave? Do you want to stay? What's happening?
Are they moving the fish?
Not yet. They're waiting for the crowd to disperse.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep hanging out behind Ralsa, maybe 10 or so feet away.
You can see coming down the steps and following the at the back of the audience, Phil comes up to you, says, "Well, what do you think, Mr. DuBois?" And Curtis, you look up. It's like he's talking to you.
That is definitely impressive. My God. I've never seen anything like that.
Everyone make a listen roll, and I'm looking for the best result. And yeah.
Regular success.
I don't even know what I got.
I fumbled.
I failed.
Curtis fumbled.
We hear nothing.
You, Astrid, you hear a mixture of almost babbling and crying coming from underneath the tent, where the aquarium is.
Okay. Are there people around?
Yeah, there's a couple of
Where that is?
attendants behind the tent. Specifically, one of that big guy that was at the security. He's back there. And they're cranking something because the aquarium is on wheels and it goes down a ramp and it's going to go somewhere. But
Okay.
the crying is
Can I
definitely coming, obviously, from the aquarium.
can I stealth to see what's going on?
Make a roll.
It's a fail.
Okay, you try to get a little bit closer, and the big guy looks at you and it says, "Off the stage, off the stage. This is for carnies only up here."
Okay.
Any other actions?
Yeah, well, I'm talking to Phil. I mean, that was really incredible. I mean, the look in its eyes is something. Do you think I could have like a private audience to look at it a bit closer?
Make a persuade.
That is a success.
Well, as they say, money talks, Mr. DuBois. Money talks. He seems to have dropped his onstage persona.
Well, you know, for something this incredible, for a VIP showing, I'd be willing to pay. I look in my wallet, I pull out $50 and put it in his hand.
Well, that's good for me, he says. $50. Come back in an hour, and we'll lead you there. The circus closes in about an hour. Come back, and you can have a VIP. Excuse me, I have some business to attend to. And he walks over. He makes a beeline for Ralsa and the goons.
I turn to Luther and say, "Hey, Luther, can you lend me $50?"
Yeah, I'm like prepared for this. I'm like, my hand's already in my pocket.
Thanks, you're a champ. Can I get a listen on what he's saying to Ralsa?
Yeah.
Why is my listen so terrible? I fail.
You can't hear it. They're talking really quietly under their breath at the edge of
Hey, Luther, can you hear what they're saying?
Kira, do you have some things you want to do? Don't want to lose you in all this.
Yeah, well, I was gonna. He's obviously. I don't know if Jeb's obviously leaning over, but I imagine. Anyway, I sidle over and I'm gonna try a little listen because I'm only interested when he actually goes over to talk to them.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see if I have it though. And I also fail.
Would you like to spend
What?
some of your luck to succeed?
You know what? Why not? I'll spend 9 of my luck to succeed.
So you hear Phil say something like, "What did you think of the show?" And Ralsa says, "Are you trying to humiliate us?" No, I was just showing you the kind of thing that we can do. He performs like a trained monkey. That's what you think of us? You're dealing with some very dangerous people here. You're walking a very thin line. And he says, if you have the money, I'm happy to turn him over to you. How much? How much can you pay? Imralsa says, you said 4,000. Well, 4,000 was yesterday's price. Now the price has gone up. It's 8,000. Ralsa looks at his goons and says, we'll be back. And moves off, glides away like he has no care in the world. His goons following in his wake. And Till smiles. You can tell that he thinks he's got himself quite a deal here. You've seen these kind of rackets before. This looks like some sort of kidnapping almost. Like your take, Hawkridge, is that he figures every night that he shows this kid off, and they don't pay him as a night that he can double the price out of the humiliation.
Okay.
And so Ralsa and his goon leave the tent, and the stagehands are saying, "Oh, all right, move on." Asenath has disappeared, along with Later, and the five of you find yourself, unless you want to do something else, you're ushered outside the tent. And you can see some people have started to leave, and some people are still going about their business, trying to play some games. The Ferris wheel is still turning, and the roller coaster is still rolling. And the five of you have a chance to connect as a group. You're standing in a circle outside the pavilion.
So what are we all thinking? Some cotton candy and maybe a ride on the roller coaster, or
And then we free the fish boy.
free the fish boy. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Name.
Yeah, the last time we freed a fish boy, it was very awkward.
6. He's tiny.
Yeah. Did you guys find anything out while you were getting balloons and popcorn?
Well, the balloon guy, his cousin found it. Which I don't see how that helps us, but that's what I know.
Agent?
Not much. I mean, Marsh wants to buy the thing.
That makes sense, I suppose.
I didn't get any details about when that's going to happen, other than that he's back later. So if he wanted to make a move, it would have to be before then. I personally am feeling a bit of an impasse. I don't know what are we going to do with the fish boy if we take him.
Yeah, I mean, if Mosh wants them, that's concerning. Listen, well, I got us a little VIP thing. Once this place shuts down, we have a little personal showing of this fish. And I don't know, do we capture it? I don't want to give it if Rulsa wants it. I don't want to give it to him. Do you know what I mean?
True. I mean, I guess we're kind of fly off the cuff people, so I guess we'll figure out how to smuggle a fish boy out of a carnival as we go along.
Yeah.
Well, the carnival will be closed. We have an hour to figure out something. Because I don't know how we're going to keep it alive. Like, we don't even know if it only breathes in water like a fish, or if it's amphibious, like Edith and the others.
I guess no one has $8,000 here, so that we could just buy it outright.
How's your wallet, Luther?
Look through. I don't know. We should at least express an interest, right? I mean, I could write a check if we need to.
Yeah. Can we maybe figure out where they're keeping it? I mean, I guess they're going to bring it to us in an hour, and we'll be able to take a closer look. And then what? Are we just going to, like, beat up a bunch of connies and then steal it?
Where are we meeting?
Back at the tent, he said.
The North Star Pavilion?
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of us could try to sneak in now and hide, and I don't know if that's going to give us the upper hand in some way, but...
What if we just rolled it off the side of the pier and into the water?
Just let it go free?
Yeah, I don't really like that either.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't know if it would even survive on its own. Like, it's young.
Well, I have a human mouth and human lungs, presumably.
We should talk to it.
That's true. Wow, that I never even considered that. We could try talking to the fish thing.
Oh,
Human touch, Hawkridge.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. You'll be in charge of that.
we get a boat, and we tie it to the boat, and then we paddle away with it.
A boat's not a bad idea.
Are there any
Sorry,
boats?
Are we even near a pier right now? I'm just a little at a...
Just the description. Yes, there is a river. You're on the banks of the Miskatonic River. Which
Oh, okay.
has
Oh,
been-
I see it right there. Uh-huh. There we go. Okay.
Well,
I
I'm.
really thought we were jumping out somewhere there.
Well, I mean, if we can get him back to Luther's place, there was already a cell in there for this exact purpose.
A cell for a fish person?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Well, we could keep him there, but I mean, it could be cruel to keep him there for too long. I mean, it's...
You want kids, Luther?
What? No.
You ever wanted a son?
Let's not talk about that. Let's
Okay.
we
Well, they found him on his own, or at least in the wild, presumably, right? So
Yeah.
he must be able to survive in the wild.
I mean, you're all very concerned with this monster's well-being, and I love that. It's very touching. It's also possible that this thing needs to die.
It's a kid.
Yeah, it's a weird fish monster, though, and how many of those have we met that have been understandable creatures?
Luther.
I'm just saying, if we don't kill it right away, but if we... Look, Ralso wants this thing, and that means it's dangerous. So we imprison it or whatever, and we figure out what it's for, and then maybe we let it go or we don't. But I'm just saying we all need to prepare ourselves for the possibility that we might need to kill this thing.
Well, I mean, potentially we could use it as a bargaining chip.
That's true.
If Ralsa wants it and we have it, we could simultaneously take good care of it, make sure no harm comes to it, and I don't know, somehow upset the Marsh's next steps.
Okay, so me and Luther go to the meeting. You guys sneak around, make sure that if anything goes sideways, you have our backs. And Luther uses his vast riches to try to purchase this thing. And if that doesn't work, I guess we have to steal it somehow.
Which we'll figure out when we get to it.
And on that note, the smell of incense hits you all. And you can't help but notice that there's a woman standing outside the fortune teller's tent looking at you all. She smiles and she whispers something, and even at this distance, like 20 feet away, you can almost hear it. You definitely hear it. She whispers, "Ah, the fated. About to meet your fates at last."
I'm sorry, lady, can we help you with something?
And on that note, I'm going to end tonight's session.
Can I also just say, like, if we're the fated and our fate is just to go into that and be like, I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. Like, stellar.
We are destined to bungle our way through this horrible conspiracy.
To accidentally succeed at what we've been sent to do.
Anyway, so good work, guys. We'll see you next week, okay?
All right, see you next time, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.